Roger that.
Okay.
An exciting penultimate race at motorsport would see Hector Colazzo win yet again, making it 5 race wins in a row, while Kevin Fanning won his first race of the season in GT3, making it 9 different winners out of 10 races. It's the final race of the season, and we'll have all of the OSRL GT action live on ASN next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual iconic Fuji Speedway, a premier motorsport venue nestled at the base of the iconic Mount Fuji in Japan. Opened in 1965 and originally designed to be a NASCAR super speedway, Fuji spans 2.8 miles or 4.5 kilometers in length with 16 turns, 10 to the right and 6 to the left, but the straightaway here, one of the longest at motorsport, at nearly 1.5 kilometers or 1 mile. It plays host to the prestigious FIA World Endurance Championship and Super GT in Japan. It is a beloved track amongst many. The format for the OSRL GT series is as follows. We are finishing up our 3-lap solo qualifying session to determine the grid for our 45-minute feature race. The 4th season of the OSRL GT series concludes tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network with Brian Sawyer in the production truck and Justin Robichaud next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to virtual Mount Fuji, Japan. Cameras for tonight's broadcast brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/whiplashmedia. Thank you, Andrew Cardinale IV, for your camera support. And if you like what you see tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And ring the bell to be notified of our live streams on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, along with our short-form video content courtesy of Jess Rakowski. If you'd like your content broadcasted, please visit asntvusa.com for more info. And Justin Robichaud, I have a nice little sentence scripted for you regarding Hector Colazzo dominating the second half of the championship. But I wrote that when it turns out that Dylan Gonas is not here. So Fozzie Fazzillo, I'm trying to find the word already. It's been a crazy evening. Anticlimactically, if that's the correct term, wins the GTP championship. But we're looking at GT3, Edgar Ruiz and Corey Allen. It's a 14-point gap. Edgar really, I think we figured it out before we came on air. He has to die in turn 1 and not race the rest of the race, and Corey has to win. So it's looking pretty hard for Corey to usurp car number 80 tonight. But how are you? And are you ready here in Fuji?
Oh boy, am I ever. You know me, I love Fuji. This track is just, I'm a bit of a homeboy. You know, I like Toyota too, and they own the track and all this and that, but it really is a gorgeous track. You get Mount Fuji in your view here in the final sector when you're diving through this incredibly difficult elevation change. You're kind of like swooping down, but yet you're also going up. It's wonderful. It really gets the car light. It's difficult to manage, especially when the tires get overheated. So watch that to be a factor. The straightaway, I think it's going to make our prototype drivers, the few that have shown up, it's just going to give them a breeze tonight.
I want to ride on board Hector Colazzo while we're talking in this qualifying session and just witness how bananas this track is in this GTP. He is 2.5. He went faster than last time around from Fozzie Fazzillo in the 55. Colazzo on it in this GTP off the track. And as soon as I go to try and talk about him, he gives it up. So let's try and pick up Steven Costio here in the 37. He is second in class, 0.3 down from Christian Oquendo. He's the one car that has a lap or a qualifying run left, as Colazzo's done with his run and Wanchi Requena is. So still faster than when the GR86s ran here in the NASA Sports Car Challenge, but one of my favorite tracks as well. So many different corners. The straightaway is obnoxious in a good way. And we were supposed to run the chicane, which right here would have been basically a hairpin. I think they made the right move, skipping the chicane here in OSRL.
I agree. It's Calamity Corner, or it will be anyways, especially if you got some prototypes in the mix. It's the right call. Steven Cauchot's right on the edge here of a good lap. It's looking okay. If he has a good exit here, it's all in the preparation of these final couple corners. They can be the make or break on a good lap. He gets a good exit, nice and tight here. It's a great run. It looks like an okay lap. He might have something here as he comes to the line. Josh, we'll take a look at the time screen.
He aborts it. He's done.
Oh, he didn't like it. So his delta was no, he didn't like it at all. Wasn't climbing.
He did abort it. I want to bring up Josiah Yonoeze, and apologies for the pronunciation there. I believe he's our winner from Sebring when you guys covered that race earlier in the season.
Yes.
He just popped into the server, so we will have 4 GTPs. And if I remember from the Sebring race, obviously he won that race. It was super entertaining. It's been a crazy season all season long, and we're going to go over a couple programming notes while we have some time here on the Automotive Sports Network. So the NASA Rallycross lights, well, NASA in general, I should say, they are on hiatus until July. It's our off season after last week in Phoenix. So our next show will be the OSRL Cup Series in Watkins Glen. That is Tuesday, May 28th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Victor Vallee, Cody Urban, Ethan Halsey for that. And the OSRL GT Series is off next week, but I think, if I remember correctly, they are running an IndyCar, Indianapolis, not 500-mile race. But just keep an eye on the ASN social channels. I think we're trying to figure out if we're going to cover that race or if our team is going to race in that race. So just keep an eye. And like I said, NASA Rallycross coming back in July, and we're going to have streams on Sunday, Monday, I think a tape delay on Wednesday if I decide to do it, and maybe Saturday. And I say maybe because we're still trying to figure it out, but it's major changes to NASA Rallycross. And I know this isn't obviously a NASA show, but just in general with ASN, so much growth coming to both entities, and it's going to be exciting in the second half of the year, Justin.
We've got some people willing to come back, and it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
I think these guys as well with OSRL, they're going to run the GT Series still on Thursday, and I think they're going to try and do their GT4 on Friday, and they've got a prototype series. I think they're doing the prototype series on Friday as well. So we will have more OSRL content as well for you. Ethan Halsey, Brianna Lavin, great partners so far. This partnership that we've forged with their Cup Series, with their GT Series, GT4 in the works, the prototype series, so many things coming to fruition. So good to see. Just keep an eye on the social channels. So Josiah Yonoeze did not qualify in the 6. He will grid in 4th in GTP. Our grid, Hector Colazzo on pole position by 2 seconds over champion-elect Fozzie Fazillo, Guillermo Seguenza, and Josiah Yonoeze in the 6 and 4th in class, 18th overall. But I think from last week, the GTPs are going to grid together.
Yeah, he will, and it's not going to be a huge disadvantage.
Christian Oquendo will lead Steven Cauchot, Edgar Ruiz, Ethan Halsey, Dan Carrito, Corey Allen, Wanji Rakenna, Chris Wilkie, Henning Svarva, Nathan Branham, Yun Gonzalez, Jeff Cartwright, Nick Vincent, and Mike Hill on the last row. 17 cars, and granted the car count has dropped, but Fuji's not, I don't want to say it's like a not popular track, right? But compared to the American layouts, it's not as frequented as the American tracks, I'd say.
Yeah, I wish it would be though. It's such a fun course. I know people probably harp on it because it's really long. It is quite a long course, and you spend a third of it on full throttle on that straightaway. So, yeah, maybe it's a bit polarizing there, but we definitely need more racing here, Josh, in all disciplines. All disciplines.
So as we roll for the final race of Season 4 of the OSRL GT Series, we have had some crazy races all season long. We started out at Watkins Glen in New York, went down to Florida, Daytona and Sebring, over to Germany, Italy, Wisconsin, over to France, Belgium, back to Wisconsin, and in Canada. And I messed up my my little saying here because Road Atlanta is definitely in Georgia. Welcome to ASN. We end in Japan at the Fuji Speedway, and it has been an incredible journey over the last 11 weeks. Thanks for joining us all season long as we get ready for 17 cars over 45 minutes, championships basically sealed. It's going to be all for fun. 4 GTPs, 13 GT3s, Colazzo 2 seconds up on the field. It is going to be a track day for the 25 for sure as he tries to go for 6 wins in a row. And will we have 10 different winners in GT3 over 11 rounds? As the safety car will pull off, we will find out over the next 45 minutes as we get ready to go green in Japan. Green flag, Colazzo off the line, completely gone from Fazzillo, Ionuese, and Seguenza. The GTPs minding their own business, all single file. We take a look at Oquendo side by side with Costco as the GT3s take the green flag down the front straightaway. Raquena goes to the inside of Corrido. They're 3 wide. Edgar Ruiz 4 wide. Ruiz backs out of it in the 80. The champion-elect basically doesn't want anything to happen to him in turn 1. Off the track nearly is Chris Wilkie. Side by side still. Raquena versus, it was Halsey as the top 2. Costco and Oquendo single file. GTPs not missing anything. Into turn 2. Halsey fights back on Raquena. Raquena over the curb. Ruiz, Corey Allen, these two championship protagonists in the 80 and the 42, driving BMWs. And we're single file through the field. Nick Vincent on the outside of Branham in the 12 against the 03. Hard braking into the left-hand corner. Allen trying to stay on the rear wing of Ruiz, who is trying to battle Raquena, and the GTP's Fazzillo has gotten past by Josiah Ionuese at the front of the field. Not that he really has to worry about anything, but Justin, it is already a 2.5 second lead for Colazzo as we begin the front straightaway journey at speed for the first time.
You're right, and I was going to mention when I had a moment that Josiah was going to be a driver I wanted to watch tonight. I mentioned being in 4th here with only 4 prototypes wasn't a huge disadvantage, but taking advantage early, Josh.
Fazzillo's going to slipstream. I want to go back to this battle in GT3. Costco comes down on Halsey. We are 3 cars under a blanket. And this front straightaway, if we remember the NASA sports car race, when they were bump drafting like Daytona, we are going to see some spectacular fireworks as Guillermo's gotten by Fozzy. Maybe Fozzy knows that he basically has this championship on lock. Fozzy's dropped from 2nd to 4th. Deep slipstreaming down to turn number 1. Costco looks to the inside of Oquendo. 0-1 versus 37. Porsche versus BMW. Halsey holds off Ruiz, holds off Raquena. Corey Allen, top 6 under a blanket. Then it's Corrido, Sparva, Wilkie, Gonzalez down through the top 10. GTP's stringing out 4 seconds now. Colazzo to Ionuese. It's a further 3 back to Seguenza and a further second back to Fazzillo. It is 2.5 tenths, quarter of a second from Oquendo to Costco.
Oh boy, and we actually had a little bit of movement back in the prototype field. I don't know if Brian can get my ear here and tell me if he's got my replay up, but we can sling this forward here. We can go. So just entering into turn 1, Fozzy Fazzillo gets a little bit deep. Josiah goes hard on the brakes, a little bit of contact in the rear and gets turned around. Just unfortunate. He gives up all of his position, has to fight back here from the back.
Updating us with Colazzo. It is the Hector Colazzo podcast that we will see later on. He is 5 seconds up on the road from Josiah Ionuese. And like I've always said, I always like to see a guy pulling away, ringing the neck of these cars. I'm telling you, man, this hornet's nest in the GT3 field, I'll keep an eye on timing in GTP, but no disrespect to the GTPs, I don't think you're getting much attention today if the GT3 cars are going to be all over like they are already.
It's a Christmas tree on my end, Josh. I just see half a tenth, like 2 tenths, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, a second, half. Oh, it's battle after battle after battle. You take your pick, just close your eyes.
Fozzy got by Guillermo Seguenza and then nearly looped it in turn 3. And the champion-elect not having a good day.
And this has everything to do with that long straightaway, Josh. Such an excellent equalizer. I know these GT3 cars, they get incredibly tight when you're in a really deep draft like that. So turn
side by side with Ruiz. Into turn 2. Halsey lets him have it. Off the road goes the 80. Here comes Raquena in the 2. The Porsche versus the BMWs. He's in a BMW sandwich, so it's The German manufacturers battling. What a run for Corey Allen off the corner. Looking to the inside into the braking zone. Takes the spot on the 2. Over under. He tried. Wheel spin from Corey Allen. He has the momentum either way. Halsey! Exit stage right into the fence in the 61. That was a weird one.
Oh, wow. And they're still about to go back at it because we've got who's coming in now?
Clip the curb, tank slapper. Carrito battling Rakenna.
Oh, yeah, here Dan Carrito was trying to squeeze his way in here, flashing his lights. He didn't like the move back, I guess. This section here is so tricky to make a pass, Josh. You're so focused on trying to keep the car balanced through this uphill left-hander. It's kind of a swoop down in there, and it really is upsetting to the car.
Tell you what, Brian, pick a car. Justin, take us for a lap in a GT3.
Hey. Here we go with Carrito, and he's going to get a good slipstream attempt here. He is falling off. We're going to see it at work here. A little bit of a side draft. He's going to peek out. Watch the draft come into play here, Josh. It's going to keep him in tow the entire time, despite having maybe a bit of a lack of. But if you look behind, he's got a couple more cars as well. So this is going to be incredible. We'll see how this turn 1 happens here, Josh. It's going to be hard on the brakes. There's a little bit of movement. Hard, hard, hard. You want to be tight here, but use up all the track on the exit because you do have a bit of a runoff here. And then it's a hard, just a small tap of the brakes just to get the car settled in for a very high-speed left-hand corner. And then into 200R, it's basically a full tilt corner, small lift in the middle just to get the car settled in on the front left. So you get all that grip and you use it on your right. You want to stay right on exit or get to the right very quickly at least to get to this hard downhill left-hand corner. Very tough on the vehicle. And these Porsches and this Ferrari is going to be hard. There you go, Dan Carrito fighting a little bit oversteer there. Car wants to rotate as it gives out a hard, fast down right-hander. And this corner here, like you said, we could have opted for the chicane, but this is the better option. It's a nice hard braking zone, and you really clip the curb a bit here on the right. It sends it up in the air, and you got to save it. And here is the tricky final sector. You get an uphill right-hander, Josh. Kind of dip a little bit down into an uphill left, and this is really unsettling because you have to be on the brakes while turning the car uphill left over a blind crest, use up all the track, but also get shimmied off to the left here for a nice exit into this final sector. And you can do a couple things here, Josh. You can give up some time and go on the inside like Dan here did, do a little bit of blocking, or you can go wide and get a good run. But either way, Dan losing a bit of time here on that lap. I think he's out of slipstream range here.
Thank you for taking us along for that lap. Apologies that I had to go silent for a minute. I was taking a look at a couple things that happened. Nick Vincent got absolutely pile-driven by Jeff Cartwright on lap number 3. Vincent is out. Cartwright pulled off to the side of the road later on in the lap. Nathan Branham spun in the 0-3 in turn 2. And Ethan Halsey, the fourth wall break of the steering wheel coming off the desk, which has happened to every single sim racer at one point in their career, tried to save it, and you can't control the car when the wheel is in your lap. That has happened once or twice to me. So, Colazzo, Josiah Yunueze, Fozzie Fazillo, Guillermo Seguenza. That GTP field has not changed, and now Colazzo is going to have to deal with Traffic Simulator 2024, that is the GT3 field. Christian Oquendo leads by 0.9 of a second over Steven Costco. Edgar Ruiz a further second back, then it's Corey Allen 2.6 seconds behind. Wanshi Rakenna, half a second behind Corey Allen. Dan Carrito a second behind him, and Chris Wilkie 0.6 behind Hennings Varva. So everybody running their own races for now, it looks like. It seems like it has calmed down for the moment. We have 16 cars out of the 18 starters still on track, Justin.
Yeah, we do here. And let's bring up that replay screen one more time here, Brian. I've got that Nick Vincent incident here right up, and we'll dive right into that. The turn 1 incident again here. So might have been just an issue of tightness on the brakes. I mentioned that already. Maybe he just it looks like he got locked up, possibly.
Cartwright just ran into the back of Vincent.
There's something. Yeah, he definitely didn't brake at the right spot. Either, like I said, he either got tight, locked up on the vehicle, or something went wrong for sure. But hard hit for sure on Nick Vincent. He had to go right to the pits, and he looks to be out.
As we ride on board, Edgar Ruiz in car number 83rd in class. And I'm taking a look through the list here. Corey Allen has not won a race. Christian Oquendo has won a race. The only repeat winner is Austin Diltz. Diltz is not here, so we might be seeing a repeat winner unless Corey Allen can sneak his way through and catch up 5 seconds of gap, of course, in the next 36 minutes.
Lots of race left. Lots of race left, and anything can happen. I mean, if these guys can pull off a different winner every week, that'd be pretty wild. I think we could just play it out.
I think
Anything
Austin Diltz, the only repeat winner was Diltz at the beginning of the season. I think he won in Daytona and Sebring again. I could be off base there, but I feel like, or Watkins Glen and Daytona, you can go stat digging.
Right. I'm going to go stat dig here while you take over. Yeah. I'm here.
Costco going to defend from Ruiz. It's 0.3 of a second from the BMW to the BMW, and Ruiz will have the slipstream down this incredible front straightaway with the massive grandstand on the front straight. Who can forget the Japanese Grand Prix in 2007 in the deluge of rain when Sebastian Vettel crashed into Mark Webber and ruined both of their races? That was certainly a moment in time at this track, along with Toyota's numerous wins on home soil in the World Endurance Championship. And Ruiz could not take the fight to Stephen Costco, exiting turn 1. And thank you, Andrew, with the Josh Mertz fan club. I didn't realize I had a fan club, but apparently I do. So I guess you were the administrator of that. So gap is still 0.3 of a second. Have you dug and found your stats yet? We're having a coffee chat today.
So yeah, you're right. He did win too. I'm I'm the one that's misremembering. He won round 1 in Watkins Glen and round 6 at Road Atlanta as well.
Well, I was incorrect. I said he won Watkins and Daytona, so I was wrong there. But either way, Austin Diltz is the only driver, I should say, to win 2 races. Let's look at Ruiz. We're still looking at Ruiz versus Costco. The gap is down under 0.2 of a second. I think Ruiz is going to have the slipstream now. Josiah Unueze in the 6th and 2nd in GTP.
Poking in there. He's going to make this interesting.
I talked about the Hector Colazzo podcast. Josiah's got 11 seconds after 8 laps in from the GTP field. Wow. Gap is 0.3 of a second from Costco to Ruiz. I don't think Ruiz is going to be able to have it. Looking at the delta, Costco 150, Ruiz gaining. The gap is lowering. He's gaining 2.5 tenths, still gaining 0.21, under 2 tenths in the braking zone. I think he's going to have to be on the rear wing coming out of the final corner to make anything happen. The slipstream, you can gain about a tenth, but anything other than that is going to be difficult. Yun Gonzalez gets passed by Henning Svarva. It looked like it was essentially the equivalent of a DRS pass. Highway pass is what a lot of people say. From the 45 to the 84. Ruiz still holds the spot. Costco over Ruiz.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking back at an incident that I watched happen in real time. Let's throw up the replay screen again there, Brian. Let's watch this happen. I want to give a shout out here to Henning Svarva. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but look at this here. Chris Wilkie gets a little bit loose on the exit here of the final corner, but excellent reflexes to avoid this crash and still keep the car going. I clenched in my seat. I had to bring that one back for everyone. Great reflexes on the exit. Good recovery from the 878.
As we have, obviously, a little bit more time with the smaller field and everybody stretched out. Want to give some kudos to you publicly, Justin and Brian. We had some... we're never supposed to bring up technical issues, right? But I would tell you, the last 10 minutes before we came live, I have never heard Brian Sawyer more stressed in his life. We had an audio issue, which... I want to publicly also thank both of you for picking me up on Monday for the NASA Rallycross show. I had a tornado drop down about 10 blocks from me. Everything's okay, but it knocked out a power line. We didn't have power for about 7 hours, and so that's why I was not here. I'm trying not to go on a NASA tangent, but to fill in the stat from you talked about Monday, Evan McFarland over Kieran Lifflander by 1 point is the closest title decider in NASA history over the last 12 years. So I needed to get that out. And thank you guys for picking me up on that. We do have the Contender Show on ASN on demand for that. But either way, with the technical difficulties that we've had, it's been an evening. It's been a week here in ASN. So thank you guys for being patient. Thank you two for picking me up on that. And my point of my story before I digressed is thank you for picking up on the replays. It has been an interesting race so far. Just crossing 31 minutes. as we're looking at, looks like Fozzie Fazzillo passing both of the GT3s.
Flying through there, threading the needle.
As weaving in and out of traffic on I-65 down in Indianapolis, if anybody's familiar with that.
What a move we have here.
Fun time. As we look at the two GT3s, it looks like Ruiz is finally going to get this done on Costco. They're side by side through this double apex. Costco, Ruiz off the road. He hooked the right rear on that little curb there. And off the road he went.
A little overzealous, Josh. We talked. That's a tricky section. I don't want to be on the edge there.
Real quick, we had contact between, if we can pick it up, if you can go back, Wanchi Rakenna hooked the curb, spun it in front of Dan Carrito, and that resulted in a couple of GT3s having some issues.
I'll take a peek here, see if I have a camera angle with it. Josh, oh, I do. He did clip the curb on the braking zone. Brian, let's throw this up here. This is tough. I've done this before in practice. It's not as grippy as you think, and those Porsches, that center, oh, it gets in the way of two cars. They had to split out there, and he does a good spin to get back on. Great recovery, but been there.
So, the closest battle, according to our timing, is Yun Gonzalez versus Wanchi Rakenna. It's 0.3 of a second after Ruiz, super quick, pushing, lost all that time to Steven Costco. Gonzalez was quicker than Rakenna, obviously with Rakenna's mistake, but I think Rakenna has the pace over Gonzalez. Rakenna's fastest lap was a 37.2. Gonzalez was a 38.5. So I don't want to discredit Yun Gonzalez, but I think Rakenna, just naturally on pace, is going to get by the Mercedes-Benz versus the Porsche. As we head down to what normally would be the hard braking for the hairpin, but this curb on driver's right in the chicane, you feel like you want to hit it, but if you hit it hard enough, it's just going to send you way out wide, like what happened with Gonzalez, dirt tracking in the 45. And they are behind Hennings's Varva in the 878.
Brian, you got that split screen handy?
Shout out to Josh Darnell popping in as we ride on board. Looks like with Wanchi Rakenna.
We're on Wanchi Rakenna here at the back here. He's making a great charge every lap, every couple corners here. He seems to make a bit of a charge. So let's see what he has here in the tank.
Shout out to Josh Darnell, like I said, in our chat. And we've got the Slipstream Central down the front straight away. Hennings's Varva leads Yun Gonzalez, leads Wanchi Rakenna. I want to shout out Josh Darnell at his second win that I missed on Monday, by the way. So good run for you, my friend, the driver from Maryland in NASA Rallycross. Back to OSRL, Hennings's Varva and Yun Gonzalez ahead of Wanchi Rakenna. It is about a second between these three, I should say. The Hector Colazzo podcast is gaining. It's 14 seconds from Colazzo to Genuese at the top end of the field. And Wanchi Rakenna, 3/10 down.
Great charge through 200. He's over the inside. Oh, he tried it. It was closed up, and he goes wide in the process.
Gonzalez super deep, and Rakenna takes the spot. He comes back, and he hooks him.
Oh, boy. Oh, that's just... There's the battle. That's the battle of the race.
I don't understand that. You should know a car's on your left. I tried not to do race control right now, but you should know a car's to your left. Don't come back on track like that.
Mike Hill smells blood too and just comes in and takes the position on Rakenna there in the corner. We've got a prototype.
Colazzo, the race leader.
Colazzo, so he's got to tread lightly here. We've got a couple cars that are hot on tires, and he has no idea.
So, I think as everybody's calming down for the moment, I think we're going to go ahead and step aside here on ASN, take a little break. We're going side by side. You're not missing a thing here in Fuji. absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Ronnie's going to spot. Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Ronnie's going to spot. We welcome you back to the final round of the OSRL GT series at the Fuji Speedway in Japan with Brian Sawyer in the production truck and Justin Robichaud next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz, live on the Automotive Sports Network. as pit stops, I believe they are about to begin. And Justin, we had a crazy battle between Wanchi Rakenna, Mike Hill, I think it was Chris Wilkie in there, but it kind of fizzled out in the middle of break, so I think everyone just running their own race.
Wanchi is around. Wanchi just went around. Oh. And he had a hard time getting it recovered, so he put it directly into the wall. He's
trying to find reverse.
Yeah, he's really just trying to find that reverse gear.
Costco pits. So this is the battle for second. Steven Costco has pitted in the 37, the winner from Road America. And Edgar Ruiz, our champion-elect. One other car in the pit lane is Ethan Halsey. He has been in the pit lane since his incident with his wheel coming off of his desk in the 61. So I tell you what, I think this might be Ruiz's best shot to take the fight to Costco in the 37 versus the 80. A couple programming notes before we finish up this pit strategy here on the Automotive Sports Network. Just a reminder, NASA Rallycross is off until July. So NASA Rallycross lights, futures, contenders, supercars, all of it off until July. Keep an eye on NASASimRacing.com for all of the information there. So our next broadcast will be the OSRL Cup Series at Watkins Glen in New York, May 28th on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Victor Vallee, Cody Erdman, Heat, Ethan Halsey for that. You guys have been killing it with that show. It's certainly fun to watch on Tuesdays. And the OSRL GT Series, with this being the final race of the season, I think they're doing an IndyCar race at Indianapolis on next Thursday. More info on their Discord. I think we got a QR code somewhere on the ticker there for them. But not sure if we're going to be broadcasting that. Just taking a look off monitor, Rakenna has looped it again in the 2. But either way, keep an eye on the ASN social channels, and our next broadcast, other than the Cup Series, will be announced soon. And if you'd like your content broadcast at asntvUSA.com. Just a reminder that cameras for tonight's broadcast brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/whiplashmedia. Thank you, Andrew Cardinale, for your camera support. And if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, along with our short-form video content courtesy of Jess Rakowski. And I'm going to go find Edgar Ruiz on monitor here. He still is yet to pit. Costco is the last car on track. Corey Allen in the pit lane as well. Henning Sparva pitting as well. Mike Hill trying to battle Rakenna. Rakenna defends. Is he pitting? He is. So the pit stop's beginning here, Justin.
Oh, they are starting here now, and this is that was a prime time for to get off. We're really watching a lot of it unfold. Let's go back here real quick. Let's throw up that replay again, Brian. I got Wanchi Rakenna just not really quite making this corner here. He gets a little bit late on the brakes. Has to just overcompensate, and this is where it gets worse. He can't get it pointed straight. He gets stuck into the wall here. So that's a lot of time lost right there, and still has to pit.
Just an update. Rakenna's in the pit lane. One car passing him. Cartwright is in the pit lane. I'm trying to find Edgar Ruiz. Christian Oquendo. It's only 4 seconds from Oquendo to Ruiz. So maybe during the pit stop, something will happen there. One car exiting the pit lane. It is Jeff Cartwright in the 355 in front of the GT3 race leader, Christian Oquendo. The Hector Colazzo podcast, up to 20 seconds now from Colazzo to Yonuese, and it is a further 30 seconds back to Fozzie Fizzillo, our champion-elect. Cartwright stays out of the way of the race leader. And I think the battle's going to be for second in GT3, as the rest of the battles have fizzled out. But of course, we'll just have to wait until everyone pits here, Justin. But Ruiz last lap, 137.2. And then if I try and find Costco, his last lap, the lap before the pit lap, was a 141. So there was a mistake by Costco. Or if it was just because of the pit entry. But other than that, 137, he's been hovering around that time. They've pretty much equal lap times. It's ebbed and flowed.
Yeah, it really has. But this battle here in the middle, now that some of the pits have spread out, there's almost a few more that have come into play. Mike Hill's holding off Corey Allen. Actually, Corey Allen makes a move here on Mike Hill, looks like. Yeah, so this is interesting here. A couple drivers like Mike Hill hasn't pitted yet, so he's really just in a battle for no reason when he could just be pitted and somewhere else entirely. So some strategy coming into play here is really quite interesting. Ian Gonzalez makes a move here as well. Also another driver who hasn't quite pitted yet, so but most of them should come off very soon, Josh. They're very likely running on fumes.
Henning Svarva and Ian Gonzalez going to be side by side into turn number 2. Kostcho in front of Chris Wilkie. So Kostcho, not a big gap to Wilkie in the 3. Still side by side here. Here's Gonzalez versus Svarva. Svarva holding the outside. Can he get the run off the corner? Beautiful run for the 878, and he takes the spot. We look at Carrito versus Corey Allen as we ride on board as well here for just a moment on Corey Allen as Carrito battling him, and I will keep us updated on no pit stop for Ruiz yet, no pit stop for Oquendo. Corey Allen peeking his nose in, just letting Dan Carrito know that he's there. Slipstream, gaining. He had blinked out for the moment. Shoots out again. And it's a car length between Carrito versus Allen. Out of turn 1. Gonzalez and Wilkie, I know it's not focused on right now, but we actually can take a look at these 3, because there are 3 cars within 0.3 of a second on the front straightaway. Gonzalez slipstreaming down the front straightaway. Does Kostcho defend? He does not. Side by side. Wilkie can pick a lane, and they're going to catch Henning Svarva here. Down into turn number 1. Mercedes versus BMW, and Kostcho holds the spot. Corey Allen still trying to chase down Carrito. Ruiz is pitting, so is Oquendo, so I'll keep an eye on those 2, Justin.
Yeah, and this battle right here is interesting. Chris Wilkie is a driver that's pitted, and Steven Kostcho and Ian Gonzalez have not yet, so he can benefit a little bit in the draft here, but I don't know. I'd just be getting off if I were Ian and Kostcho. I wouldn't want. Chris looks like he's applying a bit of pressure here too, but he's also getting pressured as well. So it's wild racing here.
So Oquendo has exited the pit lane. So has Ruiz. Where will this put everybody cycling through? Oquendo down to turn 1. Ruiz down to turn 1. Where's Kostcho? Kostcho completely out of the running here when Kostcho was just battling Ruiz. Interesting to see. So Wilkie and Gonzalez and Kostcho and Svarva battling for 6th in class. Corey Allen half a second down on Carrito. We'll try and keep an eye on that. That's for 3rd. But right now, we're still going to focus on this. Porsche versus BMW. Kostcho peeked out of the slipstream a little bit earlier than I would have, Justin. Side by side down the front straightaway.
Ooh,
Highway pass into the braking zone, and Kostcho holds it. He's got it. Svarva tries the over-under. No room. Put Kostcho up to 5th.
Here we go. And it's not over yet. If he can have a good lap, he can get the slipstream and give it right back to him in the next lap. And that's one thing I love about Fuji. As long as you can just take a quick breath and shake it off real fast, get through this flowy section of this course and focus on getting that right and get your exit at the final sector just perfect. You have a shot again here, so it's not over yet.
There's Carrito and Allen, 0.6 of a second. We still pay attention here to Kostcho and Henning Svarva. Half a second between the 37 and the 878. This is for 5th in class. Guillermo Sequenza passes Svarva.
Oh,
And Guillermo looks to the inside on the
by.
37. Kostcho in the 37 holds the spot over Svarva. Chris Wilkie, Ian Gonzalez close behind as well. I know we're not paying attention to it. I just want to take an off-monitor shout-out to the back of the field. Mike Hill, Jeff Cartwright, and Wanchi Rakenna are within a second, and they're battling for 10th in class, which is last. But still, every position matters. And Cartwright looked to the inside in the final corner and try and take the spot from the 84. Oh, Josiah Unueze had an unsafe pit lane or unsafe something. He said unsafe black in chat. He's got a black flag. That's why Koshcho's so far back, as he got the same penalty. Gonzalez with the inside on Chris Wilkie for the 7th spot in class. Overruns on the 45, and Wilkie takes the spot. And that's why I was confused. I didn't catch that, so apologies there. That takes Koshcho out of a podium place tentatively. Well, there's no tentatively. He's 29 seconds off of Corey Allen.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's a huge mistake at this point in the season, Josh. You don't want to be giving up those points just like that. This is a hard-fought battle here at a track that is tough to come from behind. You really need to be in the slipstream, in the train to stay alive, and any mistake is crucial to being able to keep up with the pack.
I am still here. Apologies. I had personal matter to attend to. Dan Carrito still leads over Corey Allen for the 3rd spot in class. It's not food. I was clearing my nostrils, if you really want to know. I've been still trying to get over a sinus infection, and it's finally clearing up. I will leave it at that. Happens to me very frequently. I don't think it's very good for me to deal with that, but I digress. Oquendo, let's get a full race rundown. Hector Colazzo leads. The Hector Colazzo podcast is now 1 minute and 5 seconds ahead of our champion-elect, Fozzie Vazilla, but I don't think Hector's pitted yet. Josiah Unueze, Guillermo Seguenza, rounding out the GTP field. Then it's Christian Oquendo, Edgar Ruiz, Henning Sparva deep on the brakes trying to catch Steven Koshcho. Ruiz, Carrito, Allen, Koshcho, Sparva, Chris Wilkie, Yun Gonzalez, Nathan Branham, Mike Hill, Juan Chiricana, Jeff Cartwright. 2 cars retired, Nick Vincent and Ethan Halsey. 16 out of the 18 that started are on track. Mike Hill and Rakowski. Looks like it's the closest battle. This is for 10th in class. Then we have Carrito versus Allen for 3rd in class, Justin.
Yeah, Allen is giving a hard charge here to Dan Carrito. He really wants this position. He wants it bad, actually. This would be a podium spot here this evening. The prototypes I was having a peek at. Blinking off here, Corey Allen is. He's got a little bit of a connection issue, but yeah, I think this is our best battle at the moment here. This BMW is very quick on the straightaway, and if you can get in the slipstream here, he's looking good.
Carrito knows.
Here,
Carrito knows. The dragon, the snake, whatever you want to term it, down the front straightaway, trying to break the slipstream. Last lap, 1 minute 37.459 for Dan Carrito, 1 minute 37.465 for Corey Allen. They're equal. As we still look at that battle, Chris Wilkie and Henning Sparva, 0.6 of a second. Then it is Juan Chiricana, Mike Hill, and Jeff Cartwright, all within a second in the back of the field. Last lap for Sparva, 1 minute 39.1, 1 minute 37.6 for Chris Wilkie. As we're still focused on Carrito versus Allen, Justin.
Yeah, this battle is it's kind of ebbing and flowing here. It's kind of tough to find a little bit. Corey Allen is having some connection issues. He keeps popping in and off, and nothing's scarier than when you're trying to fend off a driver. You look in your mirror, he's not there for a second, or he's bouncing around. It does happen. The simulator has its quirks, but yeah, this is the battle right now. Chris Wilkie's giving it really hard to Henning Sparva at the moment, but this here is for a podium position. And there's a prototype on the way here. That looks like Seguenza.
I don't mean any disrespect to Sparva, but Wilkie's got the pace over him, so I agree. We still focus on this battle. As Seguenza gonna fly on by in the 17, minding his own business. A little bit down on pace compared to the other GTPs, but he is just trying to figure out the car, I would like to say. And Carrito weaves his way. We have lost Josiah Unueze in the 6. We can keep an eye on this battle. Looks like Josiah just pulled it in and parked it in the 6. Corey Allen too far back. It's 0.4 of a second from Carrito to him as we hit 6.5 minutes left in the season.
There he goes. There he goes again. Yeah, hard to say what happened with Josiah there. Maybe he did come in late into the session. Maybe he didn't get enough practice. He joined in qualifying, so yeah, maybe he wasn't feeling confident tonight in park. I've done that before. Sometimes you're just not feeling it, and you just go back off.
We're going to take a look at Cartwright versus Hill. Shed some light on 11th in class, last in class, and that's no disrespect. Like I said earlier on, we've got action all over the Fuji Speedway. One of the Saints and Sinners drivers in the 355 in class labeled slow according to his number plate. I still think that's hilarious. JP DeFino, Dan Carritto, always trolls, jokesters, whatever term you want to use. Deep on the brakes is Cartwright. He had that issue earlier with Nick Vincent in turn 1. And he's got some damage, it looks like, on the 355. But he got a good run compared to Hill exiting turn 1, down to turn number 2. Down a little bit of a hill, up a crest, don't hit the bollard. Looks to the inside. Did Hill give it to him? It looks like he just moved over.
And he makes it stick. Impressive little move there from Jeff. Just sends it in there, gets all the grip. Makes the move.
Back to Carritto versus Corey Allen. As we cross under 5 minutes left to go. Minute and 11 is the gap at the top with Colazzo and Fazzillo. That's incredible. That's just incredible pace. Corey Allen was a 10th down on Carritto the last time around. Hector Colazzo definitely has been 2 seconds a lap faster. I took a look really quick off monitor. 2 seconds per lap. That adds up over the amount of time. Car length between Carritto versus Allen. Does he get a slowdown? Did he cut the curb? He did! And that might silence the battle for third.
Ouch. Ouch.
He's still trying to clear it. And he did clear it now, but it's now 1.1 seconds.
Makes up huge ground in this corner, though. Looks like Dan maybe had a bit of a mistake on braking there. Gives a bit of that time back. But still, huge disadvantage Allen is here now, late in this race.
Closest battle at the moment is Sparva versus Chris Wilkie in the 878 to the number 3. We haven't said much about our champion-elects because of how the championship battle has run. So Fozzie Fazzillo, the stat line is going to say 0 wins, 0 poles, 0 fastest laps. Or sorry, I'm reading the wrong list. I promise I know how to read. 0 wins, well, I was right. 0 poles, 0 fastest laps. But it's going to be 2 podiums if he can hang on. Then the next, well, technically he would because Josiah's retired anyways. So consistency is the name of the game. And Christian Oquendo, he is way down in points, but he's only going to be the 2nd repeat winner this season if he can hang on. Edgar Ruiz, the stat line would read 1 win, 1 pole, 2 fastest laps, and 5 podiums if it hangs on this way. And it has been a quiet coffee chat style race here, Justin Robichaud, but still entertaining nonetheless.
Oh, yeah, it started off really just as a single file line, as Fuji seems to be. All the drivers get into a bit of a groove early on. They get single file, and then that draft kind of helps a lot of people stay together for a bit. And then mistakes start to come in, and contact, the field starts to break up, and we're basically at the dying breath. We got a couple laps to go. So, yeah, a lot of these battles fizzling out completely. We're really just paying attention for any mistakes. Yeah,
Hector might lap the field. This is incredible.
Oh, wow. He is moving, Josh. Unbelievable pace. He cracked the 123s. He's got a 1:23.997. I'm just unreal.
Fazzillo is entering what the chicane would be right now. And Colazzo is heading there. If we ride on board on the front straightaway, I think you can see the 55 from the 25. This is incredible. The car ahead of Colazzo is Corey Allen. That's the battle for 3rd in GT3. The car in front of them is Fozzie Fazzillo in 2nd overall. Wild, the pace that we have seen from Colazzo in the 25.
It's unbelievable. He came in and very clearly an elevated driver, someone with a lot of speed, from just qualifying to being just dominant in the field, even through traffic. It's been a phenomenal season. One could only imagine what it would look like if Hector raced every week.
That we talk about it in any racing series. We talk about it in NASCAR all the time. There's only 1 or 2 guys. This sounds disparaging, and it's not. You only have 1 or 2 guys on the same pace level right at the top of the field. Oh my God, that looks terribly boring. It's not. You're watching a guy wring the neck. And if you think the rallycross cars are hard, this is equally as difficult because you are glued to the road, right? But it's a matter of finding the speed, finding the attachments, as David Hobbs used to say, to be committed in these cars at the downforce to believe that it's going to stick. Something else. I can't do it. Used to, not anymore. Let's get an update. Closest battle we have right now, never mind. Yun Gonzalez is not pitting. He's 2/10 down on Jeff Cartwright. As I believe Colazzo will be taking the white flag on the season this time around.
Wow.
And he's getting dangerously close to lapping the field here in Fuji. And it has been an incredible race, an incredible season. Colazzo comes off the final corner, and we will take the white flag here in Fuji in Japan. The gap is 1 minute 18.4. You look ahead of Hector Colazzo. That's Christian Oquendo. That's the GT3 leader. The car in front of him is Fozzie Pizzillo in second in GTP. What could have been, I agree with you, Justin Robichaud, if Hector Colazzo ran all the races, because he has had 5 race wins in a row. He's third in points, definitely going to move up in the standings. He might get dangerously close to Fozzie Pizzillo in the championship standings as he's on his white flag. Christian Oquendo in the 0-1 as well, minding his own business, trying to become the second repeat winner this season. And Edgar Ruiz, 5 seconds down the road, trying to be a champion in the OSRL GT series for this season in GT3. Pizzillo trying to hang on and not be lapped from the 25. But the performance that we have seen from this car, from this driver, from his first race, has been impeccable. He is going to get within a couple seconds of lapping the field. And it has been a crazy race. It has been a crazy season. It has been a dominating last half of the season for Hector Colazzo in car 25. He comes off the final corner, cannot lap the entire field, but he got within a couple seconds. Colazzo, 6 wins in succession to close the season. What could have been if he ran the full season? Colazzo wins in Fuji. And Christian Oquendo weaving his way down the long main straightaway. Second repeat winner out of 11 races as he wins in Fuji. 4th overall. Edgar Ruiz will come home to win the championship in GT3. And we head back to Fozzie Pizzillo. A lonely minute and a half from our race winner, Hector Colazzo. As we're just taking a look at the GT3s making their way through. And like I mentioned, the stat line is going to list 0 wins, 0 podiums, 0 poles, 0 fastest laps, and 2 podiums. And I'm going to make a quick NASCAR reference. Matt Crafton won a championship in 2016 with 0 wins. And he said he broke the system. I didn't say he broke the system. I'd say he's consistent. And that's exactly what Fozzie Pizzillo has been this season. He's ran every race. He's minded his own business. Driven the car as well as he can. And even though there's no wins, even though there's no poles, even though there's no fastest laps, Fozzie Pizzillo comes off the final corner, and he will be our OSRL GT Series champion in the GTP class as he finishes second in Fuji. Story of consistency as champions are crowned tonight.
Wow. As you have Mike Hill coming off here on the final stretch, and he's going to cap off the GT3 field that made it through here tonight. I just want to take a quick note. I know it is because of an issue, but Stephen Kosho finished that race in a 28-lap stint. He did not pit the entire evening. Yeah, had an excellent fuel-saving strategy. That is enough for 5th place. That's I could 8th overall, 5th in class, I should say, but still fantastic performance there.
So we'll try and get
Gonzalez did the same thing. Yun Gonzalez also, but he hit 27 being the lap down, but wow, impressive.
So we're going to try and get our race winners and our champions in here. But Justin, we've got Fozzie Pizzillo, our GTP champion, our first interview to have. All yours. Actually, hold on. Brian's letting us say, please hold.
Yeah, I'm here.
We're just awaiting. Justin, all yours.
Fozzie, you got us?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
So you are the champion despite coming in second today. How does that feel?
It feels really good. I had a pretty rough start to the season, and honestly, I got to give a shout out to my teammate Dylan Gonis, putting his family first instead of finishing the season. Should have been his championship, but we'll take it for the team. Pretty stoked.
Hey, good stuff. So talk me through this race real quick. It seemed to just be one and done, just not too many issues.
I hate this place, to be honest with you. So I'm glad it was wrapped up before we came in here. It's not my favorite.
Hey, awesome. Well, great performance here tonight. And who would you like to thank for a phenomenal season?
I gotta thank my WBM teammates. I'm the weak link on the team. Getting much better hanging out with these guys. They're an amazing group. I love them like brothers.
Fantastic. Fozzie Fazzillo, our prototype champion. And enjoy tonight, and we'll see you next season.
Thanks, fellas.
We will bring in, let's see who we got. We have our GTP race winner, Hector Colazzo, 6 wins in a row. The margin of victory, 1 minute 26.073. Couple seconds down the road was Fozzie Fazzillo lap the field. Justin, all yours.
Oh, Hector, what a dominant performance tonight. You were just blazing fast, almost 2 seconds ahead of everyone all evening. Talk me through that. Is this like a favorite course for you?
Yeah, those 3 laps of practice really helped me today. Win by that big of a margin. Just want to shout out Fozzie real quick. Just want to give him congratulations on win the championship. Wish I was there from the beginning so I can put a battle with him in those beginning races. But yeah, strategy worked out really well. Feel bad for Josiah. He was decently far away, and unlucky with the penalties. So I thought he was gonna catch up to me when I exited out of pit road. So yeah, after that, just smooth sailing. Almost caught up to Fozzie. I was begging to him on a race chat to let me by so I could have an accomplishment having the whole field. So yeah, overall just really happy.
Oh yeah, despite not quite making that, it was an absolute beautiful performance, and your performance since you've gotten here has been incredible, Hector. And we hope to see you again. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you off?
Like I say all the time, thank you to the GTs for screwing around with me and wrecking me. And yeah, just really happy.
Awesome, Hector Colazzo. Thank you so much.
You guys.
Our final interview of the evening, tentatively, as I'm still trying to get Edgar Ruiz on Discord. But right now we have Christian Oquendo, the second repeat winner out of 11 races in GT3. Justin, all yours.
Christian, this is the second time you've been here in a first place setting. How does it feel doing it here at Fuji?
I usually go only once, so it's good to be a second time here. So yes, I'm pretty happy. BMWs had a lot of top end speed, so you could see the first couple of laps I had to push and be right there on the ragged edge to keep at least 1 or 2 seconds and get away from the draft in order to keep up front. But yeah, we finally made it. We created a gap, and then we kind of keep that time in order to keep that gap going. But yeah, Edgar was there at the end also, getting little by little closer. So, but it was a hard-fought race.
Fantastic, hard fought race. It was borderline dramatic at a few times. Who would you like to thank tonight, Christian? Before we send you off.
First of all, basic Ethan by setting the league. All great races. Also, I like to thank Sim Racing Puerto Rico, basically our team members. We kind of came over and Ethan gave us a house here. So also that's good. And also, if talking about Orlando, if you're in the Orlando, gotta say shout out to my sponsor, Grillers Puerto Rico. If you want to eat good Puerto Rican food in the Orlando Kissimmee area, go visit them. And yeah, basically, thank you guys also for having a great broadcast.
Fantastic, and thank you for racing with us. You've been fantastic all season long, in my opinion, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, have a great night.
Wow. So,
Woo!
what are we thinking? As we'll get some final thoughts before I wrap this thing up.
What an incredible season! What a great track to cap this this whole thing off. Truly, I love Fuji a lot, and this whole race really just showed us everything that I liked about it. The straightaway, like you don't think about it. You think, oh, it's going to be boring, but no, it really brings a few drivers that may be a little bit out, as long as they can keep their mistakes in check for a couple laps. Like someone who's a couple tenths down can really just ride the draft and run with someone a bit faster and have an elevated experience. And if you can get the train going, and it is really a lot of fun. You get a good lineup. I was my heart was racing for some of these drivers in the first couple laps, because I know what it's like to be in a good lineup at Fuji with GT3s, and it's just so exhilarating. And yeah, it was just a good word for the race this evening, to be honest. Exhilarating.
As I agree with all that, and Fuji, always a good show. And it makes me wonder what could have been if this oval was completed. It makes me want to go back on the NASCAR 2003 sim and open up Sandbox that I've been begging for on iRacing, jokingly, of course, and just design it and see what we'd get. So I'm going to give a couple programming notes and sponsor plugs, and I'll close this one out tonight. So just a reminder, NASA Rallycross is off until July. That includes NASA Rallycross Lights, Futures, Contenders, and Supercars. We'll have more info as we get closer, but I think the test weeks are the last 2 weeks of July, and we start properly in August, I think. I should know. I run the show. I also have no idea. Our next broadcast will be round 5 of the OSRL Cup Series at the Watkins Glen International Road Course, May 28th, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Victor Vallee, Cody Erdman, Ethan Halsey for that. I think OSRL is running the IndyCar race at Indianapolis as a special event next Thursday, so keep an eye on the ASN social channels if we cover that. I'm not really sure what's happening, but the OSRL GT Series should be back in a couple of weeks. Again, keep an eye on the social channels for that one. Cameras for tonight's broadcast brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/whiplashmedia. Thank you, Andrew Cardinale IV, for your camera support. And if you like what you saw tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, along with our short-form video content courtesy of Jess Rakowski. If you'd like your content broadcasted, please visit asntvUSA.com for any and all information. And before I read my checkered flag script, I just want to go off script a little bit and say thank you to Ethan Halsey and Brianna Lavin for giving us this opportunity for the OSRL GT Series. And it's pretty awesome that we are gaining momentum, not only with NASA, but with OSRL, growing both communities, growing all things related to sim racing. Thank you for the opportunity. And I wanted to say thank you, like I said, to Justin and Brian for picking me up on Monday, and thanks to everyone that ran that race and ran all season in NASA Rallycross. I know it's not a NASA Rallycross show, but I always try to do a little bit off script there. So just in general, thank you to all that have participated, that have watched, that have commented, that whatever it may be. That means my next show is going to be in a couple weeks, so you guys won't hear from me, but you certainly will have the OSRL Cup Series to enjoy next Tuesday. The checkered flag has fallen on the season. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Victor Vallee, Jared Lott, Chad Irvine, Philip Kraus, Ethan Halsey, Cody Urban, Justin Robichaud, and Brian Sawyer. My name is Josh Mertz. I hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the OSRL GT Series tonight from Fuji Speedway. We congratulate our GTP winner, Hector Colazzo, 6 wins in a row. Can you believe it? And GT3 winner, Christian Oquendo, only the second repeat winner in GT3 this season. Also, our champions Fozzie Fazzillo in GTP and Edgar Ruiz in GT3. And be sure to join us Tuesday in Watkins Glen for the OSRL Cup Series. But until then, so long, everyone.